I deleted it, didn't I? Oh well. Did I click on the wrong one? Dang it. Not my intention. Whatever. I'm live right now. Thank you. Bro, take me there, please. Whoa. Where's the copy? There you are. That'll work. That'll work better. Alright, let's see. Still not working, that's cool. Is that because, just a thought, did I put the wrong link here? Refresh on my end. I thought I didn't hide YouTube stuff. Hey, Timothy, give me like 2 seconds. Trying to see if I can get the chat to work and show up on my screen. Let's just restore it here for like 2 seconds. This is live chat. thing's actually frustrating. Alright, let's try one more thing. Let me see. I know it's here somewhere. Where are you? Yeah, just add chat box, bro. Theme, yeah, it doesn't matter. So, Twitch, yeah, I'm not doing Twitch. Turbo badges. Top coin holder, I'm not doing bits or any of that as far as I know. Yeah, 600 will do. 1,000 on the height. 1,000, thank you. Refresh when it becomes active, and whoops. All right, let's test this one more time. Hey, my chat's showing up finally. It's being stupid. Okay, so I can't. I had an external program running this. I guess I'll just use slobs for now. Right, so. Hey, ooh, wow. 3 viewers? Oh my goodness, I have 3 viewers. That's actually pretty nice. I like it. What is going on? Oh, wait, let me make sure I'm reading that right. Don't have my glasses. Avertive. Okay. So, what is going on, Avertive? I'm actually surprised I got 2 viewers tonight. And here I thought that I was just going to be talking to myself. Okay, so let me quickly run by with Timothy right here. I don't want to forget. Low sensitivity aim settings. Do I need to learn high sensitivities to get out of Diamond Masters, or do I just buy a... Okay, so I'm not going to recommend cheating on anything, especially Zims, because they're going to be working on something very soon. I don't know if anyone saw the developer blog, but they're going to start cracking down on sim detection for console players, so don't do that. If you can't afford to lose your profile. Again, I'm not endorsing it either way, but I'm just saying if you're going to do it, regardless of what I say, that's your warning right there. As for higher sensitivity to get out of Diamond Masters, I'll be 100% honest. There are people who function differently under different sensitivities, and what I've seen is that yes, a good portion of the time you'll see that there are higher ranked players on like 100 sensitivity and all their settings just maxed out. Ultimately, that matters on you. If you cannot control the sensitivity that you're on... I forgot to take a Tums. Give me like 2 seconds while I'm in the middle of explaining that. So just a quick reference. I just got off of work and I'm just deciding to have a little fun before I go to bed, but brought something in my bag. Yeah, you're the Advil. That was a different problem. I know you're here somewhere. Huh? Goes from the front. There you are. Huh. Apologies on that. Can't beat these guys to mid to high master status. Oh my god. I mean, I'll be, again, the point, I'm assuming that you also had seen my prior video, the one that has over 30,000 views, so if you haven't seen it, I'd be surprised, but, if you cannot, okay, yeah, so if you cannot control your character, then there is no point in going to a higher or lower sense. If you're not comfortable with how the screen's turning, if you're not even able to process the speed at which you turn, whether it's too slow or too fast, there is just literally no point in increasing or decreasing until you understand which it is. So the point of my guide was so that way you had the tools necessary to figure out what settings work for you, what they did, so on and so forth. So... You're mentioning how to get out of a rank. So the ranking in your mechanical skill, I'm going to tell you right now, because I've had a couple of comments on that video when I looked back. There is no something right behind me as I was talking. There is no magical settings that I can give you that will immediately improve on anything. There is nothing that no pro, no coach, no nobody is going to be able to give you. Because two things are required to climb: your own play experience and your mentality. So this is kind of like my guide was meant to kind of merge the two a little bit by giving you the know-how on what to adjust and give you your own self-confidence by, oh, I know what to fix if I have X problem. Like, if you're having no trouble keeping up with everybody, like you're able to control your turn speed and everything, and you see, like, making up a hypothetical example, like you have a tracer that's just going around you and, like, blinking everywhere, you can keep up with her, you just can't precisely land any hits. Let's say you're playing Soldier 76. So, yeah, I guess again, that depends on you. So if you're seeing that you're not able to control your character, then yes, what you would need to change is starting with the sensitivity, just be able to control everything. I can't say until I see something to give me an idea of what it is that you're struggling with. But based on what you've told me, if what you're worried about is the sensitivity determining your rank, I wouldn't worry about that. I don't think your sensitivity is hurting ranking per se. It might just be hurting your gameplay, your immediate gameplay, and for that, you just need some more play time to either adjust into it if that's what you want to settle with, or if you think you need to change it and you're convinced, oh, hey, this is not working for me. Don't worry. You can always find different guides out there, but that's why I made the video as detailed as I did, so hopefully it'll give you the information you need. So, yeah, like I was going on in my explanation, though, if you're recognizing an issue, you know what to change. But I'm going to tell you real quick, again, this is a repeat warning. Yeah, pretty much what he just actually said. I'm glad that, wow, I love this ultra low latency. It's so much better than anywhere else. Watched it multiple times. Thank you for replying. Let me see. Sense shouldn't affect anything unless you're uncomfortable with said sense. Exactly. So, let's just say I'm giving you the guide again real quick for a minute. Yeah, watched it multiple times. No, not a problem, Timothy. Yeah, so like I said, you start from a baseline. You just need something to work from. So you don't need the PSA. The reason I use PSA is because everybody uses PSA, and it gives you inputted numbers that you can go with if you need the structure. I personally need the structure because otherwise I could just select any random bunch of numbers in between 0 and 100 for my sensitivity and be like, oh, I'll just try whatever. That's a little bit too broad a spectrum. You can narrow it by having this calculator that will just give you these different sensitivities based on if higher sensitivity is more comfortable or lower sensitivity is more comfortable. But you can go in increments of 10 and be like, hey, how does 50 feel? 50 feels decent. Okay, let me up it to 75 and 25. Okay, 25 feels more comfortable than 75. That's kind of a broad spectrum. And from there, you can kind of go between 50 and 0. And when I say 0, I think that bare minimum for sensitivity might be 1. But between 50 and 1, you've just narrowed down from 100 to 1 to 50 to 1. So now it's a lot easier for you to figure out that amount of numbers. It gives you less to work with. Okay, so from 25, however you want to break that down between 1 and 50, you can go between those. And you could just keep narrowing it down, but remember, you need to first off be honest with yourself and not just be like, oh, okay, I guess this feels good. No. If you're not confident with it, give it a little while longer. And wait until you're for certain that, oh, okay, this is either kind of working for me, and this one works better for me than the other one. There is no right answer. And really, again, the tools are there, the way that I explained them, just for the sake of giving you a baseline to work with. So let me see. Oh, I just saw your response. Wait. Stupid thing. Okay, good news is that I can see it here. Let me see. expand this for... Oh, there we go. That's much better. Find a bit of legacy, aim control. Crazy. No thoughts why this would be. Legacy aim control. I had to read this off my screen, by the way. I apologize. Are you talking about legacy... Hold on 1 second. Let me... Are you talking about legacy aim... Shoot, what was it? Legacy aim mode? Shoot. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. I just had a shift, so I apologize if I'm being a little dumb right now, but yeah, let me... Thankfully, I have everything loading up pretty quickly, so I shouldn't be long. Give me like 2 seconds. Legacy... Yeah, legacy aim mode? Turn you off. Let's mute you for like 2 seconds. I don't want the audio to cut in with Mauga and all that. Yeah, let me just see the options menu because I work better visually anyway, so that's my fault. I apologize. Let's see. Options, legacy, aim mode, where are you? Aim assist legacy mode. Is that what you're referring to? I'll just wait for your quick response, hopefully. Okay, good. So we're on the same page. So aim assist ease in. So this, a small explanation, very short explanation. Back in Overwatch 1, they did not have aim assist ease in. So aim assist ease in was non-existent. It was just an automatic number that they set. However it is that they put it. They decided to eventually add it in and create aim assist ease in as we know it today, but then there came a moment where they realized, you know, hey, maybe some people are not benefiting from this change that we made, so what we're going to do is introduce another tab setting above that, so that if they want their old setting back, that's what it will revert to. So the old one... Overwatch has had a very bumpy ride when it came to their console community, and quite honestly, there was a time where the entire console community was like abandoned in favor of the PC community, and ever since they had crossplay, things have gotten a lot less rocky, so they've definitely done myriads of improvements, and we have it easier, but aim assist legacy mode just reverts it to what it was before they made all their changes. It's stronger, but it's a very hard to describe how it's different. It's stronger in a sense that how would you explain that? It pulls harder within the, like, if do I have a slide on me? I don't have the slide. So if you remember the slide on my previous video where it's like a bubble surrounds your character, and that's what the aim assist window size is that it expands the size of a bubble on a hero. So aim assist ease in thickens or thins that bubble and kind of dampens your reticle when it starts to go within that certain distance. And the legacy mode will actually kick in harder when it comes to that thickness. So if it's well, first off, if it's helping you, by all means, give it a shot. Play some games. If it's a consistent improvement, do it. By all means, have some confidence. If it's working, don't question it. Just do it. By all means. But if it's kicking in harder and that's what's helping you, this is, again, it's very complicated. I believe that is the correct explanation. I haven't seen anybody else really talk about it, so there's not really anything I could recommend outside of what I figured out with the resources that I had. So that's what it should be, if I'm not explaining it wrong. I'm fairly confident that is what it is, because that's what was happening when I was experimenting with it to try and come up with an explanation. Yeah. So legacy mode, on top of that, they basically implemented the dual zone at the launch alongside linear and exponential ramps. And something happened that their exponential and linear ramps were swapped, and on top of being swapped, broken. So legacy mode not only didn't work with those ramps and those aim techniques, but it also messed up when someone selected the setting that they thought. It was very weird. So to be quite honest, they've done massive improvements, so things should be kind of more normalized at this point. But the legacy mode for aim assist ease in didn't actually work with anything else but dual zone, because all the rest of it was just so janky and messed up. That's another question. Are you doing dual zone or are you doing linear ramp? Because in my video I was actually doing linear ramp, and I eventually tried out some different settings, and for some odd reason I improved, and it was going back into dual zone. So, didn't come up with another philosophy, but I did kind of update the way that I was thinking, and in hopes that it would help anybody else, I'll try and explain it. But is it more positioning than aiming skills between Masters and GM, or is it both? I'm using dual zone. I like the steadiness. Excuse me, misread that. Yeah, so dual zone. Okay, so do whatever's simpler. So as I explained in the graph, it's a very rough graph, by the way. I've had someone already explain that it was wrong. Duh. I wasn't claiming it to be right. I was just trying to give a visualization to a rough extent. But linear ramp is like however far you turn your stick is how fast you're accelerating. So if you're literally 60% of your stick moving out, that's how fast you would go. You'd be going 60% of 100. So dual zone is just within two zones. That's usually just a more direct and straightforward method of actually aiming, so I would recommend you stick it on dual zone. Now, I wouldn't know about the major differences between Masters and Grandmasters, because those are factors that it's kind of very hard. Like, there's kind of like, I want to say a stigma. It's not really a stigma. It's just like, if you even hear, okay, best way I can explain it. If you ever hear like Flats or Spilo or any of the top 500 streamers or whatnot talk about this, they'll constantly tell you that even in Grandmasters, like some of the things that you fantasize about, like, oh, hey, Grandmasters is the place where you escape all the problems of your lower ELO, so you won't have plat problems over in Grand. No, they're not. That's dramatized. They still have issues, and some of them don't work together. Like, some of them still don't even communicate with each other. Heck, they have two stacks, so they actually don't talk with each other, and they're just as toxic. So when it goes to, I know that they talk about the major difference between Masters and GM is that GM knows how to maximize on all given opportunities, and they do that by habit, whereas Masters is trying to make what should be habit for Grandmasters into like what they're trying to accomplish. So positioning is always going to be important no matter what. But if you're smart enough, you can make any situation work, and that's what it means to be Grandmaster. Or at least that's what I understood from all the stuff I've been researching. So positioning, it's always important no matter the rank. It's also being smart in reacting, doing the things that you normally don't do in your habits. What do you do between team fights? What do you do when you're being hard countered? Are you trying to pay attention to the ult economy? All these different factors, but all of it comes with time. Not to overload anything, but positioning, aiming skills, those are the aiming skills is mechanics. You will work that by playing more. Do you want to hit Grandmaster? You just need to play more. I hate to say it, but to improve your mechanics, you just need to play more. There is no secret formula there for really anything. Let me decrease this thing real quick because it's kind of bugging me. I apologize. Let's read about 600 as well. Yeah, I just shifted everything down. My bad. Let me see. I just feel like I'm stuck at Masters even with my duo, and I see the people that win and I feel like they are. Yeah, that is an issue that has been going on in the Masters rank. Unfortunately, there's not much that can be done at this exact moment until Blizzard decides to kick in on season 9 with their new system to detect Zimmers. So number one, don't pay attention to anyone else. So I'm actually glad I'm having a conversation about this. This is kind of awesome. I've been waiting to have this conversation. Okay, let's have it then. So out of everything that I've been studying and everything that I've been finding out, everything that I've been trying to learn, everything I've been trying to retain, the stuff that I've taken notes for, all these different coaches, there is one fundamental truth, and that is that the best way to climb out of all the things, especially with what you're covering, you feel like you're stuck. Yeah, definitely, simmers are definitely frustrating to play against. The first thing you need to do is let go of the things you cannot control. So, I've been noticing myself climb, very visibly by the way, from my hard stuck low end gold portion, moving my way into right now high plat low diamond. I barely almost made it into diamond until I went on a lose streak. But guess what my attitude is? Okay, I went on a losing streak, I probably deserve it. That's got to be your attitude. You're going to lose. In fact, actually, those are kind of like the big common videos that are playing around as we go on talking right now. A bunch of videos got recommended to me like, hey, you need to understand, you're going to go on losing streaks, you're going to lose. If you want to improve, you want to be climbing. But one of the, again, going back a step now, you cannot control your team. You cannot control the enemy team. You cannot control what anyone else does. You have to control what is within your control. And what is within your control is your settings, is your gameplay, is your positioning, is your mentality, and really what makes the game fun. So you're asking me these questions like, okay, so what's the difference between the different ranks? I'll be honest, and this is very respectfully, I hope it's respectfully relayed, it doesn't matter. Because right now where you're at needs to be overcome with better behaviors, better thought processes, more gameplay to make up for the things that you want to build into, because that's where the experience comes from. And unfortunately, you're going to run into these simmers like you were mentioning here. You're having a dilemma like, oh, what can I do to change it? Well, I'll be 100% honest, I'm not going to, again, encourage simming. I would encourage just doing the controller and make the best of it. But, whatchamacallit, what was I going to go on? I've been so excited to have this conversation for a long time, and now I'm drawing blanks. It's just been a very long day. But all in all, you're right now in Masters. Okay, yeah, thank you, actually. That's a good point to pick up from, and hopefully it'll build. So you feel better without a mic and just focusing rather than a full group of people. Exactly. You will find that it's actually more beneficial for you to climb when you're just doing it by yourself and not talking. That's just an extra thing. Here's another thing. Masters and Grandmasters, they barely communicate. They barely even talk on the chat themselves. So why are you now worried about adding one extra thing, trying to coordinate with a bunch of randos? Like, it's one thing when you're just playing to have fun and you're like, oh, you don't care if you win or lose. But now you're doing this thing to yourself where it's like you're just now adding another distraction. In fact, you know what? Let me reference this video. So I did a previous video talking about the dead zone settings that they added. So I'm going to start losing my voice shortly. But the dead zone settings video that I did. So tell me I just lost my train of thought. Let me just make sure here. Better instinct control skills. Mic focusing. Yeah, so with the dead zone settings, or was it the previous one? I was making these recommended settings and telling people, hey, I can't be the one to tell you what you do and do not enable for your specific hero settings. In fact, you know what? Hold on a minute. Yep, here we go. General. Let's just go over to Reaper. Reaper's a good one. So you see all these settings here, like the Shadow Step confirmation input, the Wraith form cancel input, the hide Wraith cancel text. I made this entire visual for everybody, and I made it available under my video description. So all these settings, you're able to change them. I can't recommend anything because you need to do stuff that benefits your gameplay. So, in relation to what you're asking, which is, like, what can I do to improve my gameplay? What can I do to improve my mechanical as a positioning, my aiming skills? So, when I was describing these settings, it's the same thing. You have to reduce the clutter. So, when it came to my settings personally, like let's use Reaper here for an example, Shadow Step. So we know Shadow Step requires button inputs. How do you reduce clutter and improve your gameplay skills? You reduce the clutter. So I made it so that when you press it, it shows up, but when you release it, he teleports automatically. That's one less input over a fraction of a second to now do something that would have required another button press. I would have had to press, release, press again, release, wait. It's just an extra action. And then the hide Wraith cancel text, it reduces visual clutter. So now, going back a step, talking about the mic, same difference. Confidence plays into your behaviors, your warm-up mentality, everything, your mental clutter. And once you start eliminating the mental clutter, then you start behaving. And again, this comes into forming the habits. And this is where it comes in. Exactly. What the heck just happened to my chat? It cleared out everything. I'm sorry. But basically that is like it's not just about the visual clutter, it's about the mental clutter. So you're thinking about all these things. If you ever remember those martial arts movies where they're talking about, like, in fact, actually was it Kung Fu Master? It was the one with Jet Li and Jackie Chan where the Jet Li's character sends the staff back in time, or forward in time, and it teleports the kid from modern age to ancient China, and he meets Jackie Chan and Jet Li, and he's talking about all his kung fu movies to Jackie Chan, and he's just like, still pouring the water. Whoa, stop. No, you're overfilling your cup. Empty your cup. Same difference. Empty the clutter. Don't be thinking about these things. Yeah, get rid of actions, split second decision making. This is a training process. The moment that you clear your mind of the clutter of the things that you don't need to worry about, including talking, it's an active process to hold a conversation, which is what's happening to me right now, but my excuse is that I've been working all day, my brain is fried, and I'm tired. But you know what, I'm here because I want to be here, and I'm glad that I'm actually having this interaction. So, yeah. Basically, I think you're getting the point anyway. So, you're worried about the things that are not within your control. That's extra mental clutter. So confidence plays into your skill set. If you lack confidence, you make mistakes. Now, mistakes are going to happen no matter what you do. But if you're cluttering your mind based on what you cannot control and what's worrying you, you're going to make more mistakes than you would be with a clear head, is basically the point here. So what I'm going to advise, I'm a married dad. I have to get close to read this. Give me a second. Let me just put on my glasses. Oh yeah, that helped myriads. I'm a married dad as well. I know the life. So if you think it's truly possible to get into GM without a Zim, yes. Everything and anything is possible. There is no doubt in my mind that you can hit GM without a sim. And remember, they're going to be cracking down anyway. So I wouldn't begin if I were you, and I wouldn't have recommended it regardless. So don't put yourself in a position where you're going to potentially lose your profile to a ban. I wouldn't do that. Yeah, I don't know if they specifically said it was season 9 or if it's coming at some patch point between when they announced it versus season 9. But they are going to be doing sim detection. So yes, counter. Okay. I love this part. So counter swapping. So I've been trying to practice counter swapping, and I'm still working on it myself. So by all means, it's definitely something you need to recognize the win condition. So I play a lot of soldier, and I recognize that soldier, although he has a lot of benefits of being an all-around tool belt and doesn't, I'm going to loosely say this, necessarily have a lot of hard counters. He does have a decent amount of heroes that offer better utility than he does, and some that offer different utility that he can function better with the utility that he has versus them. He's just basically the all-around tool belt. But here's the thing. Even if someone can do it better, doesn't necessarily mean that it's the right pick for the right time, or even the right matchup on a 1v1. So counter swapping, yes, counter swapping is a thing, indeed still. You will hear different opinions, so I'm not going to say that mine is gospel, but I am going to tell you this. You need to recognize the win condition based upon the nature of what you're presented with. So, hypothetical example, you're playing Tracer. You're having a fun time going around getting some picks. The enemy team makes a swap and turns into McCree. If you're not familiar with who McCree is, it's Cassidy in game, but I call him McCree still from Overwatch 1. I don't know how long you've been playing the game. I don't know if you're familiar with that name change at some point, so I'm just going to assume. I call him McCree because reasons. But they turn McCree. McCree is not necessarily a hard counter anymore to Tracer, but he has the burst capabilities, and his Hinder Grenade stops your ability usage. So he does have countered abilities. Now the question is he focusing you down to the point where you no longer have value? Or is he just being enough of a nuisance to where you have to be like, I need to be more cautious, but I can still play Tracer? You need to read the room, essentially. So if he's not hard countering you and you're still getting value, you're still getting your picks, you're still getting your eliminations, keep playing Tracer. If it's working, don't fix what isn't broken. Tracer's getting value, that's all you need to know. If he is hard countering you, hard focusing you, keeping you from getting value, then things start to make different steps. What is your ult economy on? Does your team necessarily need your mobility for your character? Are you going to still be able to offer that for a short amount of time, or does it need to be like a little while longer to contest a point? Whatever the case may be. There's always different factors to kind of take in, and I could mention a bunch of things. But basically the point is, if you're getting hard countered, you just need to examine. So I could mention a bunch of things. I would work better off a specific scenario if you had one for me, but that's pretty much the whole thing. But using that same example, if you're using Tracer and you have your Pulse Bomb, do not counter swap until you use that ultimate. Find a way to make the ultimate work even while getting focused so that you get the full value from it, because when you swap, you're just going to lose it anyway. Use it before you lose it. But if you absolutely, like, there are instances where it's beneficial to use it before you lose it, and other instances where you can just be like, I have 85% ult, but I'm getting hard countered and I'm not getting any value, so it's going to be a waste if I stay. Let me just lose the ultimate so that I can play a character that will get more value, infinitely more. So it comes with time. Let me see. I like Sojourn over Sojourn too. Because healing pad saves me, but the high rank hit scans only choose. What do you think of the healing passive? Ooh, I love this. I love how I'm having all the conversations I've been dreaming up in my head. I'm going to have to talk about it more later. So, I'm kind of where Flats is on the opinion. I do not hate it. I don't like it, but I don't hate it either. It's not like something that it's kind of like mid. I'm like between the spots where it's like it's not bad, it's not great, but whatever. Um, what my biggest concern, what I thought of as the biggest concern, is that the supports gain a good majority of their ult economy from healing their teammates. Now, they did say they're going to tone it down, so it might not be as much as I'm thinking. Until they release something, I kind of have no idea. But what I'm expecting is that it's going to take away from their ult economy, even if a little bit, just enough that it's going to be a problem. And so now the supports are going to have less ult uptime and ult economy throughout team fights because you're just going to have to go off into a corner and self-heal versus going to a health pack or seeking out a healer. So now they're contesting with two things. It's fun stuff. Personally, I would figure that it might be better to find a different solution, even if I don't hate it or like it fully. It might just be more beneficial to come up with a different solution. And I do agree with J3, because I basically watched all the top streamers' opinions on this, and J3 kind of, he said something slightly like a hot, what's the word I'm looking for? A hot take, is the word I'm looking for? Is that it? Is it hot take? I feel like I'm using the wrong word here. He said a potentially hot take that supports are healers. I don't agree with that. I know that supports serve a deeper function than just healing the team. So you can do things differently, but I agree that I think that that the developers are trying to baby some of the players. Like, you do need to hold yourself accountable to your skill. That if you're having certain troubles, you need to okay, so in fact, let me give a better example. Is it you are a father, you just said, is it better for you as a father to solve your child's problem for them without involving them at all, just fix their problems? Or is it better to teach them how to fix a problem? Now, this is just me oversimplifying, and I could go into it deeper, but that's basically the idea here. Blizzard is looking to solve a lot of problems, and that won't rely on player accountability, essentially. So that's going to be kind of a hindrance, and I agree with J3 on this one. Like, they're babying the community a tad bit by making things that shouldn't be easier, because it's now going to form. And he didn't word it that way, but I thought of it after he said it was, you're babying them, and now they're going to form bad habits. Oh, I won't look for a health pack. I'm just going to stand idle and heal instead of going to my healer or finding a health pack. You said you wanted to encourage team play and then make things easier in the aspects that couldn't involve team play. That sounds like a kind of a loss to me, but, we got to wait and see. We have to see some solid numbers and get that. But by the way, just to answer your question over here, Soldier over Sojourn, healing pad saves. I hate how they nerfed that. I'll go into that another time. But the high rank hit scans only choose Sojourn. So, to answer that bit, I'll tell you why they're picking Sojourn. It's not that she's broken, kind of. Her mechanical requirements, they're not easy for low rankers to kind of accept. It's just that her mechanics, that when you master them, they get really high value. But she's not the highest skill ceiling hero, but she is still a pretty mechanically demanding hero that definitely, without refute, requires mechanics and positioning to get best value. You can't just be doing things randomly. I learned that the hard way when I was trying to play her, and I see exactly why people are complaining, but at the same time, you just need to learn to play a little bit around her. When you're playing against her, that is. Let's see. I'm afraid of the Sombra and Tracers players getting healed, and it will be a nightmare. I see the problem with Tracer, I don't think that she'll still be... Okay, so let's just understand one more thing, too. Look at what the meta is right now. The reason we're not seeing Tracer in any of the metas right now is because not only is she highly mechanically demanding, but she's easily killable, and you get more valuable, or more, not valuable, more value from other heroes of lesser mechanical skill. Hence, Sojourn can take out Tracer, like, easily. Now, Tracer is back on the rise because they fixed her bugs. And it's not that you shouldn't worry about her and be like, she's nothing. No, she'll show up. You'll have people that know how to just destroy with her, but the meta's a meta for a reason, because when you get the high-ranking players that are playing as if their life depended on the game and they maximize on a hero, it's like, oh, I can't work with this. Like, I'm just going to get shredded no matter what I do, because they figured out the ins and outs of that hero so much, there's literally nothing you can do. So, yeah, they're choosing Sojourn because she has good value, but let me see. I'm afraid of the Sombra Tracers. Unkillable. Yeah, Sombra. I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. Sombra. So remember how I said bad habits? That's actually the concern for me, is that with her self-heal, forget the fact that she's going to go to a health pack and just heal herself up almost immediately, but she's going to have just one more reason to stay invisible the entire time. I think that the developers are failing to realize this is an issue, or at least they don't have the foresight to see, oh, this might be a problem. But that also might be why they said it's a majorly toned down version of the support passive. Potential hot take, I think that there needs to be an overall rework of the entire roster, but not a heavy rework like every hero needs a redistribution of things. I think that the roles just need to be redefined as necessary. So, support, it's already mentioned with Flats on some of the SVB's like podcasts and everything. The heal numbers, the damage numbers in all roles, and pretty much all the ability stuff, it's tuned too high. It needs to be toned back down. But I would dare say, in addition to that, that you could take this a step further and go for a rebalance versus just a tone down. Tanks are tanks for a reason. They're the chief cornerstone of every team, and they need to be tanks by definition. So give them the stuff that makes a tank, and for that, that's up for debate. I can't point out one specific thing without leaving out another, so I won't even begin on that. But each tank brings something different. For damage heroes, their damage. I'm gonna tell you something that shook me when I heard it. Are you ready for this? Because the moment that it clicked and I understood it, I was like baffled. I was actually like, I can honest to God say I was never speechless, despite saying I've been in the past, until this very moment. Kiriko's kunai deals in one single shot just as much damage as Genji's ultimate. Let that sink in for 2 seconds. Kiriko's primary fire, which she's able to get off 2 before Genji can get off 1 swing. Only one of her kunai deals just as much damage on a critical hit as Genji's ultimate. He deals 110 damage per swing and swings roughly 1.1 times per second, meaning it's like 0.1 second longer than a second. She does more damage within just half of a second to throw her kunai. She gets like 113 for a critical hit or some weird number like that. But she's dealing more damage for her primary fire that she has access to literally all the time. Where Genji's got to build up his ultimate, and then his swings are 110 damage. Now you can go ahead and argue nano boosting, damage boosting, whatever. But the same can apply to her. She can get the same nano boost as he does. She can use, in fact, actually, she's got more benefits because it's a projectile. Guess what? Baptiste's immortality, not immortality field, his amplification matrix. She can utilize that. Genji can't. So a damage hero is dealing less than an actual support hero. And she's got better utility for an upkeep in a team fight. I don't know about you, but I think damage needs to be, like, revitalized to actually do what the role is supposed to do. It's damage roll. Their numbers should technically be higher on an average than supports and tanks. They need to do damage, otherwise what are they doing? But for some odd reason, we have support heroes that offer utility and damage and healing and everything that a damage can do. Why do you think goats existed? Goats existed because you don't need damage. So make the damage actually do what damage is supposed to do, and when you get damage to do what it's supposed to do, then you kind of make support do what it's supposed to do, and you make tank do what it's supposed to do. But holy crap, a support is a better damage than a damage hero. A tank is a better damage hero than a damage hero. Like, holy crap, what's the point of damage? Okay, rant over. I'll end it right here, because I'll go on for another hour if I don't control myself. Okay, yeah, I agree. Let's see. Do you think that the new rank system will be better or just push everyone up? Okay, no. So, when I read that, the rank system, first off, they're adding another top rank. They're adding ultimate. They talked about it being potentially changed, so I have no idea if it's still going to be called ultimate when they release it in Season 9. It's not a rank up. They're doing what I would call, I don't remember how they termed it, what I would call a soft MMR reset, that it will take into account your old rank, but it will reevaluate you throughout the future seasons so that if there was improvement between seasons and the MMR kept you kind of locked into place, it would allow you to be a little bit more flexible in re-ranking. If you fell in rank, it would be down. If you rose in rank, it would elevate you up. I don't think that this is going to elevate people into higher ranks needlessly, but it is a good way of basically doing a soft MMR reset without actually doing an MMR reset. It sounds reasonable to me. I have no reason to worry about it. I do think that there's going to be a slight distributional error. They're going to have to tune that later on. Regardless. So damned if they do, damned if they don't. It won't matter. But, oh my god, I'm going to lose my voice. I might have to add lemon to my water in like 2 seconds. What is your main for every role? Okay, so I've had to do a heavy reevaluation over the last month. I took a hiatus from this game because I was burning out. Upon returning, I decided to kind of put together hero pools for each rank, but my main focus is on damage. So I don't really care as much about tank and support as I do damage, but my damage pool consists of Soldier 76 is my big main man, my heavy hitter, and my go-to at all points. Then it would be Ashe, McCree, Hanzo, and Sojourn. And this was based off of a philosophy from a YouTube video that I'd seen, and I'd so far seen it to be kind of true. But there's a difference between damage heroes and like different like pseudo pools is what I'll call it, where there's main damage and off damage, and it wasn't an official terminology in the league, but he noted there was a noticeable like hero combination that would be used in the Overwatch League. Like, you would see Hanzo and Mei. The differences were not just their hit scan and projectile, although that was taken into account. It was also their means of their specific utility. So Mei, she would get her value from her utility versus her primary or secondary fire, although she's still able to use both, because every hero does. Her primary thing is her wall, her ability to change the map dynamic with her wall, the ability to block off people and to kind of evade and become immortal for a time in her ice block, the ability to freeze an entire area with her ultimate, her ability to slow people, her ability to one piece if she needs to defend herself out of range. Mei had the utility, so she's not a main damage. So she's considered an off damage because he's also projectile. And then you had instances like Soldier 76. His primary means of utility is his primary fire and his rockets. So he was considered a main damage. And heck, and then there were some heroes that were hybrids. I won't go into that. It gets overly complicated. So my hero pool, because I play Soldier, I played like heroes. So you had Ashe, McCree, Hanzo, and Sojourn were the ones that he put in that pool. It's been helpful to me, and it's been a very great translation. I find that there is very little differential, and it's actually been helping me in the counter game whenever I have a trouble like, oh, if Soldier's getting hard countered and I need more burst ability, I can go to, say, Hanzo and Ashe. But if Soldier, if burst damage is not what I need, like if they're playing Hog, oh, I can go Sojourn. That's free value right there. Sojourn's a counter to Hog in a certain aspect because of how much value she can get and how quickly she can burst him down compared to certain other heroes. Heck, even Hanzo's a counter. So you could do him again. In addition to those heroes, I've in the past played Reaper, Tracer, Widow, so I was going to add them anyway, and Sombra, still kind of getting used to her rework, so that's iffy. My tank lineup, I just kept it simple. Winston, Roadhog, Reinhardt, and Zarya because Zarya. And then the support lineup is Anna, Baptiste, Brig, ironically enough, Illari. She's now locked from competitive at the minute. And everybody's talking about how bad Zenyatta is. I've had more wins with Zenyatta than I have with Anna. I've had more wins with Zen than Bap. I've had more wins with Zen than Illari. Maybe people just weren't expecting him to be that good? I don't know. So those are the mains for every role. If I need to repeat myself, I'll gladly do that. I think I went on a tangent anyway. I mean, Mauga, Bastion, and Mercy this season. Yeah. Also, Bastion's another one if I need to use him. You need to have flexibility and know that you can mechanically control them. So, oh my god, Mauga. Mauga. Fun topic of conversation. Everybody's talked him to death. I'm not going to add. I'm not adding fuel to the fire. Mercy, I can't find myself to do Mercy. And then Bastion, I mean, he's technically a hybrid. He does rely on his primary fire, but he's also utility heavy in the ability usage. So, I don't play him very often, though. Yeah, crazy value on Kiriko. I know what you're referring to in previous topic, but no, she's too strong. I understand that people are struggling with her mechanical value, but it is because of that mechanical value that the pros are able to handle her that she is now undisputedly in need of some hefty nerfs. I'm just going to bypass this conversation. I've already raged too much. I think Emerald Gun... Okay. Emerald Colored Guns. So that's not weapon skins. Those are... Let me get back over here for like 2 seconds. And while I am at it... Here we go. Oh, shoot! I know why it's doing that. Give me, like, 2 seconds. I want to refresh browser when scene becomes active. Shut down source when not visible. There we go. That should... Oh! It's back! It's back! Woo! Okay, so, Emerald Gun Colors. So, you obviously know that they introduced weapon skins. That's not where it's going. It is going... My camera's in the way, but weapon variants like the gold gun, that's where it's going. And you purchase these with the competitive points that it's gonna. There we go. Competitive points that you see in the top right-hand corner. So it can't be a money grab because the only way you get competitive points is by playing competitive. So it's not a money grab, thankfully. The Emerald Guns did look sweet. I will give it that. But I'm more of a blue guy myself. I would have hoped that they would have done like Sapphire or something, or maybe they'll introduce that in the future. I don't know. That'd be kind of cool. Let us have something to spend our competitive points on. Hell, make them cheaper too. That'd be great. Let me blow my nose too. That's very hard to breathe and choking on my own lost voice over here. Let's see. Apologies on that, everyone. Before this, I was out in the cold weather, so that's probably remnants from that. Okay, so for number one, yes, they are definitely going to do better with Microsoft. The CEO that everyone's been complaining about, Bobby Kotick, I agree, he was definitely a poison to the creativity of the team. He is no longer in office. They now have Microsoft resources. They will definitely do better, but I agree completely with Flats on this one because it's the same thing with the entertainment industry. You're going to see the immediate news that says, "Oh, Bobby Kotick's out," but you're not going to feel the effects until about six to 8 months down the line. And again, it's the same thing, in the movie industry. When you hear about movies that are like, "Oh, they're a year out," that's why they announce it early. They want to try and build the hype. But also, it's the work in between because they're probably like, "Oh, we're announcing this movie for right now we're in 2024, 2025. This is when the movie's coming out." Do you know why they're announcing it now? To build hype while they work on it. So you're not going to see the effects in-game right now because the leadership is going to obviously do what the leadership does. They're going to try and put their way into it. You'll see some immediate effects, but we're not going to see anything major about the Microsoft ownership until about 6 months from now. It's like the end of the year present for everybody, like, "Merry Christmas, Bobby Kotick's out, we're on our way to improvement." Ever go back to 6v6? Everybody's asking for it. But we keep hearing mixed things about it. I don't have the what's the word I'm looking for here? It's not know-how. The topic's not fresh on my mind is kind of the point I'm going at. I would have been able to argue in favor of 6v6. I would personally prefer 6v6. Do I think they're going back to it? I don't think so. I would prefer it, but I don't think they're going to. And the two biggest reasons, whether or not they will admit it, is number one, they don't know how to balance their own game. Not just, forget about just the tanks, they don't know how to balance their game. But they didn't admit it. They don't want to, and that's fine. I get it, they're just trying to save face, they don't want to act like incompetent idiots and lose confidence. So I get that. Number two, how do I word this? Let's leave it. I'll hold off on that opinion of mine. Basically, it's summed up pretty much there is that they don't know how to balance their game, so introducing 6v6 would be a nightmare. Let's see. I haven't used actual money yet on the season pass. I was so used to loot boxes, but I did pay for multiple Overwatch 1 licenses. Yay, that was a fun part. Went from a premium model to free-to-play. That was always fun. They're not ignoring it. I understand from a balance patch perspective that these things do take time, and even when we don't see that they're actively working on it or hear from them that they're actively working on it, they are most certainly looking into it. However, As far as Ball, Rhine, and Junk go, we already know that they're not going to touch Rhine because... What did he say? He said they don't want to touch Rhine right now for whatever reason they're talking about. I think that when Flats was asking about it, they mentioned something about him being like a patch note away from being like overpowered or broken. Something to that effect. I don't remember what it was specifically. For Ball, kind of goes back to my 6v6 argument. They don't know how to balance their game. They don't know how to balance Ball. Truth be told, I wouldn't mind him being removed from the game. Just my opinion. And as for Junk, they're already looking into burst damage for Season 9, so I wouldn't doubt that he's going to kind of get a fix this upcoming season. It's just going to take time. Yeah. Potentially hot and spicy take. I don't know how the youth call it these days. I'm 31 years old, and I'll gladly show my age. Still losing my voice. I apologize. You know, let me get something to eat. I've been hungry this entire time. Got pizza. That's good. Yep, my wife was right. Didn't even need to finish eating one piece of pizza yet to know that this was the best I've had so far here in Texas. That's good. That's really good, actually. All right. All right. I just think they need a rework in the new 5v5. So hot take, hot spicy take. So it sounds to me like you're familiar with Overwatch 1. So I'm banking on that. Aw, thank you. I appreciate all that. Aw. Yeah, no, there's really not many people. There is not many console content creators. Like, you'll find a handful every once in a while, but everybody's focused on PC. So, hot spicy take, before I keep getting distracted. I think they need to bring back 2CP and dump Flashpoint. They could fix push, but I would prefer they just dump push. I'll be 100% honest. 2CP is better than both of them. I said it. I said it. Just wait for those hate comments to come in the future. People are going to flood my channel after watching my playback and be like, what is this idiot talking about? Like, anytime I hear Flats talk about it, they're like, oh my god, 2CP was cancer, and Push and Flashpoint are myriads better. Like, they just have a bad taste in their mouth, and it's like, okay, right. The game modes are just horribly unbalanced. Like, Push might be fixable, but Flashpoint is just... I have a whole list of complaints. I'll make that into a video, if anything. Yes! I just saw what you said. Hold on, wait. Let me just make sure I don't get too fast-tracked. To quickly answer your question before I go on further, no, Junkrat is not getting a rework. I don't know where I hiccuped in my talking, so I'll power forward and we'll recap if need be. Maybe when I had to deal with Mauga is almost... and you don't... it's like almost as if you're a tank and you don't switch to Mauga, you're going to get absolutely destroyed. Ramatra, technically Orisa now with the new patch. Ramatra, Sigma, and... I don't know. I'm mixing up my names. Oh my god, my exhaustion's kicking in. Ramatra, Orisa, and Sigma. If you play those three tanks, aside from Mauga, they also get good value. You can get good value from those three. But I also understand that Mauga was just a little bit overtuned. Hopefully he's now a little bit more decent. I haven't played yet, so I wouldn't know, but I wasn't personally having too much trouble with him. But then again, I've been hyper-fixating on my gameplay, so I might have been avoiding a lot more situations than I normally would be running into. That might just be me. The maps for 2CP were amazing, indeed. Hanamura, yes. What I wouldn't give to have Hanamura back. I actually do miss that map more than any of them. Hanamura was nice. Temple of Anubis, it was good. I wasn't so excited. There was a certain aesthetic to Volskaya, but I understand why everyone hated it, and I didn't. It wasn't my favorite either. But I understood exactly why people hated Volskaya. And Ram is now meta in High ELO and SIG. Yep. Well, they never stopped being meta. It was just that Mauga was in a tier of his own because he was just so OP. Sigma, and now Orisa with her just recent buffs, now has more options. She still kind of sucks, but with those buffs, she has no fall off, so she could shoot at a range and has another option under her belt. And she's no longer forced into critical, which means that she can kind of counter Mauga. Stupid, but whatever. But yes, Ram and Sig have always been meta. Indeed. So there's no surprise on that from my end. I know streamers don't usually eat on stream, but I don't care. I'm hungry. Yeah, no. There's like pros and cons for 5v5. The balancing was always going to be easier. But it kind of goes back to what I said prior. The balance team does not want to admit that they don't know how to balance their game in 6v6. So that's one problem, but you just mentioned it right there. That there's now more pressure of a job of two being put on one person. I would stand to agree that a 6v6 is better by giving the job of a tank to two people, and I would rather deal with that than one overpowered character and then put so much pressure on their shoulders. Credit where credit's due. Tanks do take a lot of shit, and they do carry a lot of their team's weight. They are, this is no exaggeration, they are the chief cornerstone of a lot of their teams. The tank makes or breaks it. I think it would be better to put two tanks back in to relieve the pressure off tank players, but I also understand that they had the issue with like the role queue and everything. More people were playing damage, which was kind of ironic because they were the weakest role, but I don't know. It really was less pressure, exactly. Less pressure per person. That's again the pros and cons. What we sacrificed to get a more balanced game was now adding pressure to one person versus two. Whatever. Okay, let me see. I'm a new player. Is there any tips you could give me that helped you the most when you first started out? Well, I'll tell you that the biggest lessons I've learned actually came a lot later because my experience is nothing to learn from. So my story begins back in Season 7 of Overwatch 1. Technically Season 4, but I never finished my placements and I never played competitive after that. You're right, it has indeed actually made the game more toxic. I'll quickly answer that. So back in Season 7 of Overwatch 1 is when I started playing and I played for fun. I started off in High Bronze, built my way to mid-Silver, fluctuated between Silver and Gold as the few seasons passed, and then as the seasons continued, I worked my way into mid, low, and high Gold. It was like a huge fluctuation. I finally broke the curse and I'm now in High Plat. But I've also taken into account of my behaviors. So if you're wanting to take the game a little bit more seriously, the sooner the better. And these are the things you need to do. And this is bare minimum, by the way. Number 1, review your own gameplay. I've noticed my mistakes, and you don't need to, it's whatever way you're able to retain it. If you want to take your own self-notes, go ahead, if that's the way you learn. But it kind of goes into that philosophy of know thyself is the best way to explain it. You have to understand how you play, how you think. You basically take a match that you lost, that you feel it was close, and you feel like, hey, I can learn from this particular match. I made a lot of mistakes. What did I do? What was I thinking? Number one, watch your matches back. Because without a shadow... Where's my slippers? I'll grab them later. Because without a shadow of a doubt, the biggest improvement you're going to get is watching your own gameplay. It has done wonders for me, because when I watch some stuff back and I'm like, I made that stupid mistake, thankfully I retain enough short-term memory to be like, okay, I can make that adjustment in my future games. And that's fine. So you can even do that yourself. You don't need to watch it for too long. You just need to be looking for the mistakes that you made, things that you could be doing better. Just watch back what you do. You have the benefit of hindsight. Think about the things that you could be doing better. And along that line of self-review, without the benefit of hindsight when you're playing your games, think about what you could be doing better. And it doesn't need to be an overwhelming thought process. It just needs to be basically like, am I doing everything I can in my match? Or am I doing my best? Did I word that right? Am I doing my best, or am I doing what it takes? That's what I meant to say. Change the mindset. And the reason you're going to change that mindset is if you're doing your best, you're setting yourself a bar that you just need to overcome. Versus if you're doing what it takes, there is technically no bar, but if you're doing what it takes, you're already beating your goal. It's hard to explain. I had better wording for it. I might be able to reiterate it later on. Again, I'm very tired, so I apologize in advance. But it is actually made public. Yeah, in fact, actually, I love it. So my gamer tag for Xbox and my username are pretty much the same. ITP Paladin. There is no underscore between, and there is no 929 for both of those, but it is public. And you can also see my profile. I'm not hiding anything. But yeah, by all means, go ahead and add me. I don't mind it. As for listening to the convo, you do your thing. You play your game. I don't want to interrupt that. But let me quickly get back into answering daily clips here. By the way, thank you for joining up on the chat. I meant to say hello earlier, but I think I might have confused you, yes, with avertive. that would be my mistake on accident. Sometimes the names blend. That's my fault. But to answer daily clips, the first thing, self-VOD review. Literally, take a time out of your day. I think, where did I write it? I wrote down a note from a suggestion so that I could review it myself. Yeah, so like maybe once a week would be a good start off. Like once a week, just pick a match, doesn't matter. Preferably a loss that was as close to a win as possible. But if you don't have that, you could literally take any match, even a win. You could still make mistakes in matches that you've won, so don't be afraid to use whatever. But self-VOD review is probably the most important tool for self-improvement. Number two, if you're looking to self-improve, not just the VOD reviews, but kind of take a moment to ask yourself the questions in matches like, is there something I could be doing to benefit my team? Is there something I could do to benefit myself? What are you doing between team fights? Are you maximizing your time usage? Are you maximizing time between team fights? Your positioning. Make the awareness habits kind of more uniform and start thinking more in your matches. Like, again, if you're trying to take this more seriously. So, what are some other good tips? I'm drawing some blanks. Those were the two first ones that came to mind when you asked. I'll think of some. I do apologize. I'm both tired and hungry, so. In fact, you know what? I got a better idea. If you're still here, Daily Clips, why don't you go ahead and give me something that you think you could use a little help on? Give me something of a topic. That way I can kind of help myself focus on that and give you a better answer than what I'm doing now. Let me also get some more to eat. I'm not even going to lie. I wasn't expecting to have this much interaction tonight, so. Okay, Genji Man. Mechanically demanding hero. Learn the combos, for sure. Learn how to maximize. Like, take the notes that you need. Just keep constantly practicing. Don't get frustrated. Don't try hard in your matches. You're going to get countered. You're going to lose. You're going to get frustrated. You just have to, play with a calmer demeanor. If you lose, oh well, I'll improve for the next one. I got the next one. Don't let losing streaks get you angry. Genji's in a very weird spot right now where he's not technically weak, but at the same time, there are heroes that offer more value. So, that would be the best advice I could offer right now. But learn his mechanics, learn his abilities, learn the combos. Especially the combos, because you're going to definitely need that when moments come up and you're trying to secure eliminations. Utilize his abilities in unique ways as much as possible. He has his wall climb, so instead of sticking with your team from time to time, you could take high ground and use it as a scouting ability. You have mobility. Don't just waste your dash on frivolous things. Resource management is definitely important for him because that is where his bread and butter really comes from. If you waste your dash, you don't have a method of escape, you don't have a method of killing, and it might be harder to both secure eliminations and get out of dodge if you're in trouble. Your deflect is also another instance of your bread and butter right there, that if you waste it, you're kind of SOL. So, resource management is definitely important for Genji. In fact, you know what? I'm trying to do coaching like I mentioned before. Yeah, by all means. So, I'm going to quickly... I'm not a Genji player myself, so I just did what was best for what I did at the time. So, don't take him at full value at the minute. Where's Genji? There you are. So, these are my Genji settings. I actually had to turn this off, so I'm glad you got that there. So these are my Genji settings right now. Excuse me. Woo! Yeah, give me 1 second while you actually have a look at everything. Let me know if I need to move. Let me, gonna put that there for just a second. I know it's gonna be a little unreadable, but excuse me. Yes. One moment. My apologies. Yes. So, first things first. You do want... He's a very mobile hero. Genji's kit requires him to be quick, but you do not want to make him so quick at the expense that you cannot control him. You have to always keep that in mind with all of your heroes. He has vertical mobility. He has horizontal mobility with his dash. His wall climb gets him to higher places. His deflect is very important, and to be able to pull those 360s. Yeah, so 75, 60, I'm pretty much using what you're using at this point. So the reason I have the settings that I have them at, aim assist ease in, is because his primary fire and his secondary fire are projectile. So you don't want them to always land on spot, because you're going to have to sometimes lead your target with projectile fire. So that's why I leave it to 0. I'm still experimenting, so mine are not gospel. I wouldn't say mine are the ones that you need to do. Aim smoothing helps with the sharpness of his turns. Absolutely, without a doubt, if you're not going to have it if you're not going to have it on default at 100, you can lower it to 70 and it should be fine. I wouldn't go too much lower, because at that point you really start losing control. 70 is kind of like a good middle ground, and then you could experiment and put it like maybe 10 higher. 80 doesn't work. 90. There's a certain bug that I've noticed, that aim smoothing for some odd reason drastically changes from 100 to 99, and I don't know why. So if you do need to keep it at 100, bring it down to 99. Just bring it down that one smidgen. For some odd reason, it's a major gap of difference between 99 and 100 for like no good reason. But 70 would be my recommendation, because it gives you sharper turn, quicker turn speed when you're accelerating. There you go. So try 70. See if that helps you out. If it doesn't work, just put it back to 99. The idea is that you have control over Genji. He's not for me, but I know that some people are able to work with that a little bit better. Last one. God, why am I burping so much? The aim ease in. So this one's debatable. I ironically enough found... So the best way I can explain aim ease in is that it changes the differential between your horizontal and vertical movement. So you have to go closer at a 45-degree angle between your north, south, east, west directions. You have to go closer to the center of that diagonal as you increase the number to get a diagonal turn in game. It's very weird to explain. But basically, it helps your horizontal and vertical movements. So for Genji being as mobile as he is, you could keep it low, and 25 has been working wonders for me, so that at the bare minimum of my stick, it'll help keep me with those finer motor movements to basically stay within a straight line, but loose enough that I can get diagonal movement should the need arise, if that makes sense. I hope I'm explaining that right. Vibration, up to you, all these other things. For Dead Zone, I already explained it in a prior video, and I'd actually recommend going to that for a better explanation. Let me see. So I'm using Dual Zone. I don't know if you're using Dual Zone as well. Everybody changes. The reticle really doesn't matter. Just go with preference on that one. Perfect. So, aim technique, whatever you're using is what you're using. And then, these finer settings. So, what I'm going to recommend, first off, allied health bars is totally optional. Friendly outlines, definitely got to leave that. Hold to deflect is entirely up to you. And it depends on your controller if you have a broken bumper button or whatever you hotkey your ability to. Change it accordingly, but holding to deflect, it depends on your physical behaviors with your controller, so adjust as you see fit. I was going to recommend automatically wall climbing, but that was before I actually started messing with the setting and actually playing him. It was kind of inconvenient that I'd be accidentally running into walls and he would just climb when I didn't want him to. So, use at your own discretion. Hide deflect cancel text. This goes into my Dead Zone video. Extended aim settings video, excuse me. I would recommend that if there are things that do not pertain to anything important, reduce the visual clutter. If you don't need to have the cancel text show up because you forgot the button, whatever, it's basically just hitting the bumper again. Hide it. It's one less thing. It's just the cancel text telling you hit this button to cancel. Just remove it. And then Dragon Blade timer, I would leave the timer on so that you have the number and you have an expectation, and when you see it get low, it's like, I gotta get out of dodge. Bam. Last one that's pertinent is the aim sensitivity during Dragon Blade. If you're feeling that his turn radius needs to be increased or decreased based upon the difference between his shurikens and his blade, that's user discretion too. I haven't been able to mess with it. I increased the turn speed with Soldier's Visor because he's got aimbot. But you control Dragon Blade, so you might just have to leave that at 100. If you need it quicker, you need it quicker. If you need it slower, you need it slower. I would go in increments of about 10% first. It's going to go down by 50s, so you have to probably fine-tune it. Might be a little bit. But go down in increments of 10% before you go anything extreme. Or do it in increments of 5 if you're in doubt. It's up to you. But I would just try different things, quite frankly. The rumble settings, I'm just going to say right now, I wouldn't bother with them if you have your vibration turned off. Don't bother with my button settings. This is just how I play, and everybody plays differently. But his ability buttons don't change. The interact is changed to A, quick melee is to B. My jump is set to my stick so I can click it in. And then my crouch, going down and up, is set to my right stick. That's just the easiest way for me to play. Those are my controls. And I do that, the button settings universal with all my heroes. So, Soldier's got the same button layout. I have the Elite controller. I broke the faceplate prior. One of the things kind of like broke off when I kind of crushed it. That was when I had anger management issues. But, yes, so it's not trigger locks, it's the little, where's the camera? So it's these guys right here. There's 3 different settings. The top is full range of motion. And then the bottom is half motion. So I have it set between. And that's what's comfortable for me. You just have to do what's comfortable for you. And I can't really recommend anything. Everybody's controller is different in some regard, so let me turn you off, just make sure. But yeah, I'm going to have some more pizza while I'm waiting for more stuff to talk about. I'm so glad I got a turnout tonight. I really wasn't expecting anything. Damn. I appreciate all the support, everyone. This is awesome. Kind of glad I went back to YouTube. This really is good pizza. Holy crap. My wife wasn't kidding. Oh my god, hold on a minute. Oh! Oh! How did I forget? Ranked-all! I've been wanting to do this for a bit. So I've been seeing, like, everybody... I've been seeing everybody and their mother do this Ranked-all, so I want to actually take my shot. I'm already on a 2-star streak, so I'm going to take advantage and do it. Alright, for anyone who doesn't know what Ranked-all is, I already recorded 3 videos and I'll be putting it later. Actually, hold on before I do this. Okay, so as I was saying, Uh, the name of the game on Rankle, for anyone who doesn't know, because I have 6 viewers, I don't know if anybody does, is you basically are given 3 clips on a daily, and the refresh just happened, I guess, earlier in the evening, like maybe a few hours ago. And you collect stars. I'm currently on a 2-day streak. You need 2 stars to maintain a streak, and the way that it works is that you guess the rank of the clip that you're given. If you're off by 1 rank, you get 1 star. If you're on the correct rank, you get 2 stars. And obviously, if you're 2 or more ranks off, you get nothing. So, let's have a look, because I have been wanting to do this all night. Ooh, a Widowmaker clip. Oh, it's a 60-second clip, too. Oh, my God. Oh, this is going to be fun. 720p. Oh. 720p, but it's only 30 frames per second. And it's on PC, ironically enough. Oh, my God. Make sure that it's on there. Yes. Okay, so let me read my comments before I do anything real fast. I just don't want to... Back over here. There we go. Get off you. Where are we at? What kind of pizza is it? Okay, so the pizza, I guess that it was peppers, olives, and mushrooms. I'm not personally into that type of pizza, and I wouldn't order that myself, but it was actually pretty good. I don't hate mushrooms. I just don't order them naturally. But this was actually pretty good pizza. It might have been my aunt or my mom who ordered it earlier in the day. I was at work, so the wife went out with my mom and my my daughter and everything. So they got to have a lot of fun, and I like it. Okay, so let's get back on the topic. Rankle. All right, so let's take a look at this clip. Ooh, good elimination. Woo! No, nothing. Good corner discipline. That's a tough one. I'm going to replay it on a smaller screen for a second. I'm going to go that I think that this is platinum for 2 reasons. His flicks are too wild. His corner discipline's good. Like watching the corner right there, his crosshair is very close to the corner, which is a good habit. And again, his flicks are not bad, but they are very wild. His positioning is good, just not as good as it probably could be. The enemy team doesn't seem to be doing anything outrageously like high, what's the word I'm looking for here? High value, high risk, high reward. Doesn't look like anybody's doing anything too fancy schmancy. Yeah, that was a bad flick shot right there. I don't know why they continued on with the clip, but he doesn't do anything after that point. I'm going to go plat. I think that's a safe bet, right? Let me just check. I would put this up to vote if I could, but I don't know how to actually do a vote on my stream yet. If I figure it out, I'll let you guys know, and we'll start doing it together if that's something you guys want to do. But I'm going to go with plat, because that probably is the safe bet. All right. It's locked in. Yep. Perfect. No freaking way that was silver. What? Well, I mean, I wouldn't doubt it from the sloppy flick shots, but they weren't doing anything that indicated silver gameplay. That's weird. Hold on a minute. Popcorn? I'm very suspicious. I think I know of someone named Popcorn, which is hilarious. It might be him. It might be him for all I know. Gotta check on that. Ooh, this one's in 60 frames? No, it's not. Well, it goes up to 1440. Let's just leave it at 1080, though. No need to get that up there. Oh, shoot. Deceptively good looking. Watch that. What the heck just happened? Oh, he stopped the Rhine's ult. Oh my god. I'm going gold. That team was pressing very sloppily. And his mechanics were decent. I'm going to go gold. I don't really need to discuss this. There's no way I could explain what I just witnessed. No! What? Masters? No way that was Masters. Bro, people be lying. I don't think they're actually lying, but... Okay, I got one more chance to keep the streak alive, and it needs to be the correct rank, so here we go. Start this over. Console gameplay. This one's a hard one, actually. This one's a hard one. I want to say plat or diamond. This one's tough. So just upon that by itself, everyone's just ignoring him because he's not on point, and then he just dives in. You don't ever want to leave a Doom alone, and that seems like a very low-ranking mistake. I'll give it plat. I refuse to believe that's anything other than platinum or diamond. I'm willing to lose the streak and risk it for the biscuit. I don't know what else to do. So, right, platinum it is. Because the mechanics are good, but the awareness is not. It might also be gold. Like I wouldn't hold it past a gold player to have that good mechanics. Platinum's a safe bet. Maybe it is gold. I don't know. I'm going plat. Risk it for the biscuit. Here we go. Ready? Locked in. Submit. I maintain the rank! Woo! I'm so glad I was right. Only 3% more guessed about gold and 2% less guessed about diamond. So it looks like they were on the same mindset too. 3% thought it was top 500. Right. Well, hey, I maintained my 2-star clip, and it looks like my streak continues. Dang, 2 misses and a 2-star. Man, talk about really risking it for the biscuit. That was kind of fun, though. I'm usually a little bit more descriptive, but... Anything on the news sites while I'm here? That was actually kind of fun. Is my screen still set to what I think it is? Yes. So I'm just going to be 100% transparent. I was like where my mouse is. I don't know if it's visible. Is my mouse visible? No, it's not. So it's highlighting everything as we see it, though, so you guys will see it. So my eyes kind of like veered here, here, here. You'll see everything highlighting here, here, here. It darted here and then back up, but my brain processed the flurry part and removed the L. I might actually need to go to bed. But I shall wait. Oh yeah, they did mention this. I'll be 100% honest though, talking about the patch for a second. They introduced the hack into quick play. Quicker play. Like we're trying to experiment with some stuff and try to get some changes in feedback, like, oh, would this change affect you in this way? It's like you can kind of get that answer without having to change the entire game mode. You know, like, ask us. Would we be less frustrated if we had faster respawn times, but you were killed more often? Yeah, because you would get back into the game quicker. That would definitely help with your frustration, because you feel like you had to slow down, speed up the pace at which you respawn, you're less frustrated. It isn't rocket science, like, geez. Oh, shoot. There's new chat. Here we go. Okay, thank you for that feedback. So it sounds like you've played it. It's way too fast. Pun not intended, I assume. But no. Yeah, quicker play, I'll be 100% honest. It was a turnoff for me personally. I after hearing everything and seeing what they were doing to change everything, it seemed like a waste of a change and just gave them busy work so that they could say that they did something. And it was kind of stupid. I mean, they mentioned something about Flashpoint being so quick that it was over before they could do anything. I'm going to turn off my Xbox, by the way. I'm not going to be doing anything else on there. But, yeah, Flashpoint, it was never really my favorite game mode anyway. I don't care. And on top of that, for some reason, they're doing the same thing that they did when they introduced Push. They changed the map choice rate on the in-game back end of things, that for some stupid reason, the new game mode was prioritized at a higher rate than every other game mode. So even though there's only like 2 push maps at the time, you were getting push every other match. Like, oh, you played New Queen Street, then you played Dorado, and then you played the other push map on Coliseo, and then you played literally another game mode. Okay, whatever. And then you played Queen Street again. Like, Jesus, bro, there's only like 3 maps. And you're already pissing me off with this new game mode. Get rid of it. Heavily unbalanced anyway, but that was just kind of like my ride when it came in through. Man. Freaking stupid. Let me exit off of... You did mention that. You said you were a new player. I'm sorry. I understand that. Yeah, I think you had to get a set amount of matches done before you can get into ranked. I'll be 100% honest. I understand that sucks. Honestly, the fact that Blizzard hasn't addressed it yet, I don't know. But yeah, 50 wins is stupid. Everybody's tryharding in quick play, and it's so hard to get a win from time to time. Like, holy crap. What's this? What the hell is happening at my job with this drama? What the what? Okay. I just picked up my phone and I'm like, I see a message on my job's WhatsApp group and everybody's having drama already, where I guess someone's just not happy that the leadership didn't answer his question. I don't know. Today's Saturday. No, it should be gone to... Today is tomorrow already. Today is the 12th. 14th, excuse me. It ends later on today. So yeah, it'll be quick. Huh. Huh. All right. Hold the phone. I think I found something else that I could do real fast. In fact, add it to a new window. Here we go. Overwatch hot takes. This is on the forums. We may as well just have a quick look at everything while we're killing some time. Let me just make sure I didn't miss a comment of yours for a second. How'd you feel if they added the quicker play? No. I would be done with quick. I wouldn't care about my rank anymore. I would just let it die. If they did this kind of extreme change to comp and were like, oh, hey, we're going to do this on the regular. No. You lost me. I'll be #1 quick play warrior. No. It's already horrendous enough as is. You're about to improve it. They don't need to ruin it. Excuse me. No. Let's move on. Alright, so the original poster posts drop the biggest hot takes you have on the game right now. Mine is that Hog is a perfectly good state right now. Let me do one more thing real quick. Pop out the chat. Here we go. I'm going to have to adjust everything for just a second. That'll do. Alright, let's see. So, Overwatch hot takes. So, drop your biggest hot take that you have on the game right now. Mine is that Hog is a perfectly good state right now. Let's move on. Overwatch needs more unbelievableness. What the heck do you mean? One of the things that attracted me to this game is the fact that it takes place in the future. That's not a hot take, though. No, that's not a hot take. Tank is the least played role, but also Tank is the most annoying. I mean, the first one's just facts. As for annoying tools, yes, but again, I don't think that factors in as a hot take. Like, hot takes are controversial by nature. That's just stating a fact right here, and then kind of also stating a fact, but it's also debatable because technically supports have more annoying tools than anything. Why are you on top chat? Live chat, please. Thank you. Support mains, me included, have massively boosted ELO. Okay, that's actually a hot take, because that's someone admitting something wow. Most tanks don't know that dying last on defense on the first point hybrid or payload maps is inting, intentionally throwing. Retreat in time or die early to make re-engage possible for your team. Yeah, that's actually pretty. I think that would be considered a hot take. They usually go with. I actually watched the video recently. They talked about how. I think it was like there was something in like 2CP or something in Overwatch 1 that when the team developed the idea of dying on point, they did so for a very specific reason. It was because of Mercy that eventually led into the Moth meta that nobody liked. So I think the habit just stuck. But yeah, there's times where dying on point is good. Living for the next team fight is more preferable. But I actually do think that this is a good hot take. This is a good hot take. Symmetra still is a massively underrated hero for solo queue. I mean, you can really make anybody work in solo queue. Let's just be 100% honest. You can make... Here's a hot take for that one. You can make every and any hero viable. You can make any hero viable, despite the rank, because meta does not exist in any of the ranks, including top 500 and downward. Meta does not exist. It only exists when you're in a, I would say, loosely professional team setting where everyone's communicating to the best of their abilities and playing at the highest competitive level with each other with the maximum amount of communication. And even then, it doesn't guarantee you're playing the meta. Do I think Orisa is meta now? No. I think if I recall correctly, she's still not doing well. She's just more viable than she was prior. And she didn't get huge buffs, but yes. I do foresee that everyone's going to be playing her more often to counter Mauga, because she has more capabilities of countering them than other tanks do. So we just have to wait and see. if you're only looking at the PvP Overwatch, it's an 8 out of 10 game. That's not a hot take. I agree. It's definitely a high. I think that's a pretty good take. King's Row is overrated. Okay, that actually might be a hot take. Those be fighting words. Those be fighting words. I personally don't like King's Row as much as some other people do. I don't hate it, and I don't think it's mid. It's definitely above mid. But it is kind of more annoying to see the overhype for it. It's mainly the hype that's pissing me off, not the map. But moving on. Actually, no, I'll go back a step before I continue. I was part of a Overwatch group at one point for console league. I think at the time it was dying when I joined up. But one of the big things that we would always do on maps, like we would have a map pool and everything, it was kind of like semi-official. But if we had the choice, everybody voted when it came to the game mode. I forgot what it was called. Hybrid. I think it's hybrid. King's Row. Everybody would choose it. There was never a time it was ever different, unless we all agreed like, we want to change it up for like the 5th time in a row. It got a little old. Let's do one map different for the day. Whatever. The game modes themselves are okay. So this is continuing on. The game modes themselves are questionable, but the Flashpoint and push maps are actually pretty nice, with the exception of the new Queen Street, which is cringe fest and hot garbage. He said it, not me. Ilios is the worst King of the Hill map. May the Boop heroes spend an eternity of suffering at the bottom of the hole. Those would be facts, actually. Ilios has lost its appeal after a while. But is it the worst King of the Hill map? I couldn't tell you. The game modes themselves are questionable. Absolutely. The maps, I disagree. The push maps are mostly interesting. Flashpoint's just a clusterfuck. Sorry, I'm going to just say that. The Flashpoint is a terrible game mode, and the maps are terrible too. I don't care anymore. Nobody here... I'm going to like that one. Nobody here has a hot take worth humoring. Mercy needs her old... Oh my god. Her old Guardian Angel cooldown back if Blizzard wants to make her less of a pocket support. I can't speak on Mercy. I don't care enough to speak on Mercy. That might be accurate. I don't know, though. I don't know if I would count that as a hot take. Last one, anyway. Mine is that Anna, Baptiste, Bastion, Doom, Genji, Hanzo, Alari, Junkrat, Kiriko, Moira, Orisa, Roadhog, Sojourn, Sombra, Widowmaker, and Zarya should all be deleted with no remorse. That's not a hot take. I think I agree with this one. I agree with this one. Nobody here has a hot take worth humoring, because none of them are, like, fully on... None of them are full-on hot takes. Sorry, but it's true. Not all of them. Like, the King's Row is overrated. That was probably a hot take. PvP Overwatch is an 8 out of 10 game. Yeah, that's a good hot take because it's gotten some negativity due to the PvE. This one was kind of like a semi-hot take. I just don't know how hot. And then these are just stating facts. Like, everybody... Oh, my God. I don't even know about this one. Like, Hog being in a perfectly good state. You can... I mean... It's kind of iffy. Again, give or take. Right, so the next one. Rehire Jeff Kaplan, Microsoft. Before I get on with this, I'll read it in a second. Do you think that playing in practice range or in the custom game meant for getting better helps get better? Yes, but no. And practice, like, here's the thing. A lot of coaches don't verbatim say this, but I think that they intend to mean this. It is never bad to warm up your aim. It is never bad to go in the practice range. It is never bad to do a custom game mode and do the aim lab codes, whatever. But there will come a time where doing it is just not going to improve on anything. So if you go into the practice range, first off, utilize the tools on your tool belt. Absolutely use it as a moment to warm up your mechanics, see how it is that you feel before you go into a match. Absolutely do those things. And heck, even the custom game modes. Practice. They give good insights into different improvement styles for your mechanics, how you behave, how you react, how the NPCs react. Heck, you might even find some game modes where you play against other people, and it's like it just helps your mechanical skill. But again, you need to also recognize the point where you plateau and it's no longer improving for you, and then all you do is just do it to kind of like, okay, before I start my match for my matches for the day, get a warm up in, small warm up, 5-10 minutes, not even. Okay, I'm ready to play. That's it. So, are they good? Yes. Long term? No. You should probably start with something. I would recommend actually YouTubing it. There's a bunch of different codes out there, and I don't have anything in particular I'd recommend. But that would be definitely to look into. Flashpoint sucks, and last one is completely wrong in my opinion. Let me check on that one real quick. You said the last one's just wrong? Oh yeah, no, the last no, the last one's just dumb as rocks. That's not a hot take. That's just bias against an entire list of heroes. I will say, if I personally had to eliminate any heroes from the game, I once had like a list of 5-10 heroes. That list has significantly shortened because more heroes came to balance it out, and some of them just naturally started to counter. If I still had to eliminate heroes, I would get rid of Echo, I would get rid of Wrecking Ball, I would get rid of Lifeweaver. I would get rid of those three right here, right now, eliminate them from the game. I would be content if they were gone. All of them for different reasons, but let's be 100% honest. It should be pretty obvious based on the nature of their kits, but I'll talk about that another time because I don't have the time for that tonight. So bring back or rehire Jeff Kaplan. You could always use more heroes, and so can we. Jeffy is the real hero. I almost batted the R. WoW got Metzen back. Can we have Kaplan? I mean, I agree because I have good memories of Jeff Kaplan. But yeah, he kind of actually nails it. Things were not particularly great when he was in charge. I don't agree with the full thing. I'll explain why in a second. But he does have a point that being likable is not being the same as competent. Jeff was competent. The problem was that he was dealing with so much crap that it was stalling him from doing anything meaningful. And unfortunately, it fired back at his face that although the community loved him, the reason things weren't completely great when he was in charge was because he was constantly shot down, and he was the filter between the dev team and the actual player, like the actual higher-ups. So he was caught in a very bad middle spot. That's not completely his fault. Most likely moved on to different things in life. Doubt he'd ever come back with, even if Microsoft Blizzard asked him to. Metzen continued to be somewhat involved with Blizzard. Creative director, continued to voice Thrall and other people in WoW.
Hey, you. I forgot to give your sweet auntie gave me some Ferrero Rocher chocolate. I thought you'd like some.
I would love some. This is ITP wife over here, by the way.
Hello.
Would you believe me if I said I started... you shouldn't be.
Okay. Hello.
Yeah, the camera cuts off kind of like right here somewhere.
Okay, cool. Then I'm just a voice.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, whatchamacallit, I had all this for tonight.
Oh, nice.
I think the highest peak I got on viewers is like 6.
Cool.
I had 6
That's
people
good.
here.
job.
All because I started streaming for no good reason, and this is how much pizza I ate.
Did you like that veggie pizza?
Oh, I did.
Really?
It was really good.
It was good.
It wasn't the worst. I mean, I wouldn't order it, but it wasn't bad.
I think your mom wanted to get.
Okay, so
veggie,
it was my mom's choice.
And then your dad wanted cheese, and they ordered a large one both.
That would explain a lot.
Sadie, enjoy the cheese.
Yes, she did.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm pregnant. That's all I can say.
10 out of 10. Nicest Bert.
Thank you.
Yes, I'm aware you're in there.
Yeah, I'm 5 months pregnant, guys.
Yeah, she's 5 months pregnant. That was the baby inside her speaking. The bun is still baking.
Bun is baking. We don't know if it's boy or girl.
Yeah, we're still trying to figure out. We're trying to figure.
Okay, let me clarify before everybody jumps to conclusions.
We're trying to figure out
The
if.
reason we don't know if it's a boy or girl is because said child did not want
Reveal.
to share.
No.
We have to go back in 3 weeks and get it done.
Yeah.
It's quite a funny story.
We're trying to figure out if it's a monster or a nightmare.
Armando.
I actually had another
Okay,
dad.
so this stream is ending because I'm about to kick his ass.
Actually, here's a funny thing. The dude right here, he's also a dad too.
Aw.
So he's like, oh, that's how I found your content. So
Oh.
I found a friend.
Yay.
Oh, I probably should have left my Xbox on for that.
What?
He said he was going to send a friend request at some point.
Oh.
I might.
Oh, they said hi, ITP. Hello.
Hello.
Mm.
Yeah, she's ITP wife. In the other room is ITP toddler, and this is ITP baby.
ITP
We'll be
fun.
shifting title. We'll be shifting titles along as the kids grow older, but we'll figure it out.
What do we? I called this one some sort of variation of bun. What was it?
I have no idea.
Shoot. It was funny too. It was punny.
You message it to me and I'll tell it to my stream.
Okay.
But
Okay, let me figure it out.
yeah.
Bye, guys.
Love you.
Love you.
Fun stuff. Let me see. Continuing on with this, I think it's just a question of how much you're willing to pay. For getting Jeff back? Yeah, I mean, if they made it worth his while, I'm sure he'd give up on everything. He'd drop everything and join back. Jeff didn't have any interest in Overwatch PvP, even when he was at Blizz. I mean, he enjoyed the game. He just wanted to try and expand upon it, and that's fine. But I think he cared enough. Or maybe just let Jeff enjoy his retirement. The thing is, he's always still within Blizzard. He's the voice actor for Is he the voice actor for Bastion? Or is this just a joke? That'd be kind of funny if he was. He was also the voice actor for Thrall, so he was never going to really be going anywhere. Ooh. Oh, no, wait. They were talking about the Marks dude? Metzen? Yeah, he's the one who did the voice acting for Thrall. Sad, sad, sad. Microsoft, please help them introduce anti-cheat. Kernel driver that loads during boot time to ensure system integrity whenever the system is running. Scan for external hardware. Secure boot requirements. Driver signature enforcement. Mandatory TPM. Execution on virtual machines that could be completely Wow. Huh. That would be interesting. I'll read into that in a second. Do I think support is boring? I've played support. Mm-mm. Is support boring? No. I think that out of all 3 roles, the most boring role is tank. But for one reason and one reason only. As the chief cornerstone of your team, with everything being on him, and the fact that he's the one who's got to control engagements, they usually have to wait for their team, or they'll just press forward without you. Either way. No, I think tank, without a shadow of a doubt, might be the more boring role. Either that or DPS. I know I've had plenty of fun having to wait for opportunistic openings to try and get some kills. So DPS might have its fair share of boringness, but supports, no. Supports are never boring, bro. You're too busy trying to upkeep your team and keep people alive and launch out grenades that help and start shooting at the enemy. Like, you have too much on your plate to be bored. Just pay. I just pay for the Christmas fireside streams to come back. Aww. I would actually like the Yule log with Jeff Kaplan again. Even if he's not part of Blizzard, just be like, every year do the Yule log thing. That would be fun. It'd be a way for him to still be part of the community. I mean, he's always part of the community, and I miss Papa Jeff. I'll be honest. I don't think he's the guy to save this game. He and his team were completely clueless on what to do with the game after it launched. The first things to add were hero limits and then non-team modes like DM. There were weekly events that also sucked big time. I mean, I don't think it was completely his fault. He was trying to make improvements in different areas and was constantly shot down by higher-ups. So anytime I see something where it's like, oh, he didn't do this or he didn't do that, here we go. We might actually have an unbiased take. 1 second. I realized it was a bit rude of me earlier to blow my nose without muting my mic, so I apologize for that. I just did it this time to be a little bit more appropriate. Let me be honest. One point of view: Kaplan was not 100% a saint. The advantages were there. No one denies it. He communicated really well with the community. That's true. The forum was the first meeting point, not Twitter or external sites. Also true. He knew you had to present yourself as an Overwatch player, not just any user. He had ideas for the characters, even funny ones, and he made no secret of his personal tastes. That's good. Exactly. Those are some really big pros I can definitely attest to. He knew how to analyze the time spent playing with the identity of the game itself, between collecting and discovering the game world. Also true. He didn't belittle the experimentation. The competitive mode was truly a sacred environment where you would hardly deactivate a hero who had not been tested, experimental card or PTR. Also true. But he had many flaws to address. Let's see if any of this is true. He did not recognize the fact that he insisted too much on the idea of the tank as a target that accumulates damage too helplessly. Overwatch 2 made the role of tanking a little bit more strategic, and frankly, I think Kaplan would have really realized the fear of the only usable tanks in 5v5 are shielders, which Overwatch 2 is effectively avoiding, with a whole other series of problems, but shielding is a problem cleared by pure battlefield strategy, not by the excessive nerfs of Overwatch 1 tanks. I don't know what he fully means by that, but I think I see where he's getting at, but I don't fully understand what he means by that. Kaplan didn't take responsibility for problem heroes well. I still remember very well an interview in which they talked about Baptiste insinuating that there was the community that asked for Brigitte in its version 1.0. That wasn't true. The community wanted more tank and more support, not both in one character. Okay, I see what they mean by that. Overwatch 2, for example, with Lifeweaver, took the courage to immediately rework the game and mechanics instead of pretending that it was really good. It had more immediate fix than waiting for reworks from Symmetra or Mercy during Overwatch 1 Gen. Yeah, so that issue wasn't completely his fault either. They were still experimenting at that time, and that was a limitation of the team and higher-ups constantly delaying things and bringing up crap ideas. overloading the developer team and all that, so that's not completely his fault. Kaplan was too amused by the air of mystery he was spamming. Sometimes it worked, but too many times it didn't, and this annoyed everyone. At a certain point in the forums, he responded with, "We are secretly talking about very secret things." And then in the next update, he said, "I'm sorry, nothing to say," with the face of a sorry student who couldn't repeat the lesson. His appearance after the announcement of Overwatch 2 to say nothing were completely useless, or again, too focused on how good it was to spam the Overwatch League. Keller can definitely improve his decision-making presence better than him with the community. He is too distant in my opinion, but Kaplan also had his fair share of negligence. We are nostalgic for he's simply because we knew he better than Keller. Well, that's weird phrasing at the end of it. Oh yeah, developer updates were on YouTube videos. That's a good memory. Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna call it right here because I'm starting to lose my voice, and that was kind of a fun thing to do for a little bit. So I'm gonna rest my voice. Probably gonna have to add some lemon to my water before I go to bed and just make sure that it doesn't result in me losing my voice tomorrow. But it was a very, very, very pleasurable time to be streaming with everyone here. So thank you all for watching and sticking around with me. Yeah. I will see you guys probably not tomorrow. It'll have to be next week, but I have some shifts coming up and some harsh weather's coming in, so I don't know what that's going to look like. The soonest might be Wednesday, but it really depends. Oh, do me a favor, guys. In fact, you know what? For anybody that wants my both gamertag and BattleNet identity, that is it. So you would search me up from that, and you would see it's either the Puerto Rican flag from the World Cup, or it's New York Excelsior. If it's not either of those two, it's not me. But in this case, it would be the Puerto Rican one. That's the one I have set for a while. Go ahead and add me if you guys want. I don't mind it. I can't guarantee that I'll be playing anything but solo from time to time, but by all means, if you want to see if I'm online, go right ahead. I would rather play in a group for quick play than I would competitive, but we'll work on that as time goes on. And then second, do me a favor. If you guys follow me here on YouTube, if you haven't already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'm not going to be that guy. But do me a favor, and in my other videos, I have links to my Twitter channel. That's where I mainly communicate, and you guys would have... Oh yeah, I forgot to change it. I saw it on my other screen. It's a little delayed. Yeah, follow me on my Twitter page. That's where I mainly communicate everything. If you don't use Twitter, then you would obviously still see my videos uploading, so it won't matter. But yeah, if you do me those two favors, that would be greatly appreciated. And yeah, I will see you guys as soon as I'm able to stream again. I'm just going to let the weather play out and my job play out, so thank you all again for tuning in and for all your support. I really do appreciate the company this evening. You've all been amazing. So have a good night. I'll see you later.